Hey, what's up, guys? It's everyone's favorite anime and manga podcast, lOsTAKUS. My name is Eric.
And I'm JT.
And you might be wondering why I'm wearing a panda suit. Go check out the last video. That explains it. So this week, we have a lot of news to go over, right? You have some news.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, and I have a little bit. And then also this week's chapters were really, really good. So
and we only have 3 to talk about. One Piece was on break. So we only got The Return of My Hero, Red Hood, which we started, chapter 3. And what's the next? Dr. Stone as usual.
Dr. Stone.
Of course. I don't know why. I kind of forget Dr. Stone. It's just like there.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, but it's like there.
It's probably mainly because they also have it a little bit towards the back when you're reading as well.
True.
Throughout when you're reading on the app, they have it in the back. It's still good. It's still popular and everything, but they just have it towards the back of the magazine versus a little bit in the front.
A few things that were, for me, a little bit important was, first of all, Netflix, it had made another new deal with Team Mappa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to make other TV shows. The bad thing about that is that they're only paying $34 a cut. When someone did an interview who worked for Team Mappa, he said that the usual cuts are $134.
Jeez.
That's a big pay cut.
Oh my God, that's
So that means the work may be for Netflix, and you think it's Netflix, right? You're gonna get paid good? No, you get paid less than half. And the ones that affects the most, the animators.
Yep.
As we've been talking
running
about,
the entire thing.
the ones creating the thing, animators are the ones that have the most heavy lifting. Speaking as someone who edits videos, right? I spend hours and hours editing the videos trying to get it right. And all the editing, the way you get paid by cut for an animator, you can have 500 drawings, like 500 sample drawings, and you get the drawings into one cut, into one scene. And you're getting paid for that one scene, but you've drawn it like 500 times until you got that perfect scene. That's a lot of work. That's why the pay is usually high. Like the dude said, 134.
Yeah.
But for Netflix to only pay $34 for a cut,
That's
and
ridiculous.
you know
That's
they
crazy.
want good animation if you're talking about Mappa.
Yeah. That really, really sucks.
But the way Mappa is trying to get kind of
like
back into the better light
Yeah.
is that they have a new studio. And it's more employee friendly. They have a lot of cool things that the employees can do, like for break, for lounging. It looks really cool. You can see they have a few pictures online on things that's where they're making Chainsaw Man. That's where the people that are working on Chainsaw Man are going to be working through there. And if you check it out, like Mappa's new studio, it looks pretty cool. Kind of doesn't change the fact that their animators are getting paid really low.
That's the main important thing. Like, yeah, you can give them all this cool stuff.
Keep them happy, I guess. They're trying to keep them happy externally instead of focusing on you're getting paid low for the work that you actually do.
Yeah, I feel like that's just such a corporate tactic to use on people.
It is.
Like, hey, we're gonna throw you guys a freaking pizza party for you, pizza party. No, give them more money. Like,
You're doing it because you love
yeah,
the industry or you love anime, and that's why most people, even foreigners, become animators and try to work in Japan because that's where the good stuff's at. Doesn't change the fact that you got to make a living off of it. You bust your ass a lot every day. So, it has to be worth it. If not, go somewhere else.
yeah.
And which is a few animators are doing that in Japan. They're going to China because China pays them more.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And keeping on with animation productions, I'm not going to name this Kickstarter, but there's a Kickstarter that's trying to make a new streaming site for anime. And they are claiming they're making a lot of bold claims. Like they're saying, we're in talks to license this anime. And they put in there a lot of popular animes that are already licensed by Crunchyroll, Funimation, Netflix.
Okay.
And then some people are like, hey, CEOs of those companies are like, hey, why do you have my anime that I already licensed in there? And they take them off. The guy that is running that Kickstarter, he's been explaining things. Every time something happens, he's there to explain it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just an example. Oh no, like we're in talks with people in Japan. We're not talking about North American businesses, licensors.
Yeah.
We're talking straight to the Japanese owners, the Japanese producers. You're trying to stream it globally, or you're trying to stream it in North America. There's already someone with it. You can't get it, so there was no point of you putting it. So there's a lot of red flags that are going on, and people have already donated. I think they have like 230,000 or something.
Oh wow! So
they're pretty much quite a bit of money. Quite a bit of people are hopeful. The only thing that I appreciate the guy saying, someone from Crunchyroll made a comment. They clapped back.
Yeah.
And they said, well, Crunchyroll doesn't really have anything to talk about when they forget their origins. If y'all didn't know, Crunchyroll started off as a pirating website. You know, everybody that hate on Kiss manga, Kiss anime, that's how Crunchyroll started. They were also a pirating website before they actually got legit. And this guy is saying that he's legit, but there's a lot of things that they're doing in this Kickstarter that are really sketchy. And honestly, I would not trust it.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't even be hopeful.
What are they trying to do to make themselves stand out?
They want
from
people to
everybody else?
give them money so they could license these animes so they could stream it for free for people in a way to combat piracy. I don't think that'll work. I don't think that should work. And this brings up a point. You see how Sony bought out Funimation, Sony bought out Crunchyroll, and a lot of people are debating whether it's a monopoly. Honestly, in this case, when it comes to anime, I'd rather it be a monopoly, because if you could get all your sources in one place, or if everything is connected in one place, then there would be less reason to pirate. But at the same time, if the price is too high, if the streaming service is not good, but I'm pretty sure they already have a working system which kind of works. Crunchyroll's streaming service is still
Yeah.
Funimation, not so sure. I don't have Funimation. The reason why I sometimes prefer going to pirate websites is because it's almost like a social platform as well. I've learned so many new series. I've had so many series recommended to me because of the community that you can find. That's something that Crunchyroll and Funimation don't have, that you can't really get from streaming service unless you go to social media and talk about it. But when you can find a community while you're watching an anime, is also pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
But also, if you can find an anime much more easier, and if they're labeled correctly, Crunchyroll, then that too is part of it.
Yeah. And there's always those arguments that are against like pirating and everything. And if you're trying to come at us about, oh, well, the, JT pirates or whatever, right? But try to come up with a solution to make this entire system work, because even though you are paying for Crunchyroll, even though you are paying for Funimation, do you really think that those funds are going directly to the creators of these mangas and shows? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. There's this whole system set up. And when Demon Slayer, the movie, right? It was a massive success, right? The actual creator of Demon Slayer did not get paid as much as you think they would have got paid for having such a big hit movie on that. I don't know the numbers exactly, right? But you can definitely look this up and see the major difference in what you think they might get paid versus what they actually got paid. So
I think the biggest argument that is a bit annoying to hear all the time is that you're paying for Crunchyroll, you're paying for Funimation, we're supporting the industry. In a sense, you are, but if you really love a series and you want to support this creator, you're really not. If you think about it, it's simple. Just look at the music industry. You hear a bunch about the rappers, the singers, especially Korean K-pop. You hear there's plenty. It's the same thing. It all works at the end the same way for any industry, is the fact that the person performing or the person creating will not get paid as much as a person distributing. So the big companies get the money, while the singer, the performer, the writer doesn't really see much of the fame.
Yeah.
Or wealth. They may get the fame. And how many people know the creator, the name of the creator from Demon Slayer? I honestly don't. And big fans of Demon Slayer, how many of them do know the name of the creator? And that's because I really don't like Demon Slayer. I like Demon Slayer. The anime, Ufotable, created a masterpiece. But overall, I've read the whole manga. I don't ever need to read it again. I'll watch it. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
So I'll watch it over and over. But I wouldn't. And it's one of the rare animes that I would do that for.
Yeah. And that's a really good point that you bring up, is when it comes to fans that give other fans, like, telling them off about, like, well, you're pirating. I'm like, well, do you know the creator for the show you love so much?
Maybe you do, and if you do, I appreciate that.
You should know. You should, if you love a series that much, you really should know who created it.
It's hard to say because I've been getting bits and bits of information on this for years. So unless it comes directly from a source, but usually they keep it on the lowdown.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find complete and total accurate information on this. It is there, and you see a bunch of people talk about it. So if you do the research, then you find out where is your money really going, and does that affect the way you support this industry? But that just You just have to do the research and come up with your own conclusions once you do. They'll just blindly say just because someone's pirating that they're evil, they're bad, they're not supporting the industry. There's plenty of ways to support this industry, not just watching through a streaming service.
Yeah, like you see how much anime is in this room?
Does that support them in one way or another? Maybe, somehow, I don't know, but I just show my love for it, you know?
Exactly.
The best way I can do it is make a YouTube video and talk about it.
Yeah.
And try to spread the love, you know?
That's true. That's very true.
That's just one way. Speaking of Demon Slayer, Ufotable got hit by the Japanese government for tax evasion.
Oh, no way. What? That is wild.
They did not report a lot of their sales and taxes, and somehow the Japanese government found out, so they got a lawsuit off of that.
That is freaking wild. That is crazy.
Just a little snippet. Nothing bad against Ufotable is one of my favorite animation production companies, but you know, you gotta pay your taxes. As much as we hate to, you gotta pay your taxes.
You gotta pay the man, unfortunately.
So my final bits of news is not really news. It's more like all the animes that are coming out that have been greenlit for a second season. Tanya Saga of Evil got greenlit for season 2. Hyped about that. About a week or two ago, Overlord got lit for a movie, and then after that, season 4, which is awesome because I love Overlord. Saga Tanya of Evil wanted more, but what I am most excited about is a manga and a light novel that I've been talking to you about that it was freaking hilarious. Shinka no Mi, a manga where the best waifu is a gorilla.
No way, that one got greenlit
for an anime. I freaking love that isekai.
Check it out when it does come out. It's going to be called in Japanese
Shinka no Mi,
and in English, I believe I remember the name as something Seed of Evolution.
I also saw the seiyus that are going to voice the main character and the main heroine. So Hiro Shimono is going to voice act the main character. Hiro Shimono, also famous for voicing Zenitsu.
Oh, nice.
Or my favorite, Keima Katsuragi from The World God Only Knows. And for the main waifu is the best seiyuu of all time. No? Nothing for you? Kana Hanazawa.
Oh, okay.
Kana Hanazawa. I'm not even going to mention what work she's been in. She's been in a variety of works. Kana Hanazawa is my favorite seiyuu. So pretty hype for this show.
Second seasons and new upcoming anime for isekai
Guarantee
series.
I'm gonna make a video before it comes out because I really love this show. It's pretty funny for an isekai.
All right, for my news, we have the creator of Full Metal Alchemist is coming out with a new manga. From what we know, the main character, the main protagonist is an archer. Pretty excited for that. I saw they showed the main character, like how he's drawn. Kind of looks like Alphonse in its human form. I'm pretty excited for that. I'll go ahead and read that. The second piece of news is Viz Media is officially releasing the English translation for Volume 1 of Sakamoto Days, which is on Shonen Jump. It's a really, really good story. The other piece of news that I have is Rising of the Shield Hero will not be rising this year. It will be coming out next year. It will be coming out next year. I don't know why, but it has been postponed. The second season has been postponed until next year.
Keep it away from me. Oh, I love Rising of the Shield Hero. I just hate the anime. I've read the light novel 2 times from where they're at and the manga, and then I was pretty hyped for the anime. Really hyped for the anime. Erica is sure of that.
Yeah.
Well, Eric also knows just how very disappointed with the anime. There's so many texts of long rants.
Basically what JT means, for those people that don't really know, an anime is still an adaptation,
but it doesn't have to be loyal
to
that adaptation, to its original adaptation. Like Full Metal Alchemist, the original Full Metal Alchemist, totally not loyal. It changed up halfway through from the manga because the manga wasn't completed. So that's why we got Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood that was more closely related to the manga. And again, with Shield Hero, there's some animes that do that. They're close to the adaptation, but no, they totally completely. I could live with that. There's plenty of animes that the adaptations from the mangas differ. I can live with it until you change a character. One of my favorite royalty characters in anime history is the Queen from Shield Hero, but her character, if you read the light novel, or if you read the manga, the original source, and then you watch the anime, you get a completely different character. I was just really, really disgusted with how they treated her character. She is one of the best characters in the story. And to change her up into a kawaii-like character, disgusted. And the storyline changes a little bit. In the manga and the light novel, we haven't gotten... So Rastalia and now Fumi, from where we were, where it leaves off in the anime, they didn't kiss by that point, and there was no really romance or storyline. Well, there is, but not as close as, or how hard it pushed it in the anime, which also I found weird. But there's a lot of things that the anime changes storyline wise, so that's why I was surprised it's getting the season 2 or 3. I thought they were trying to rush it, but I guess with the popularity that it gained, they decided, well, we'll greenlit 2 seasons, not a second, but also a 3rd. So that kind of confuses me. They moved up the storyline so in a fast pace that I'm not sure they'll stumble their way through, but it's gonna be a mess from the original concept.
A lot of people that I know, like friends and people, that they really, really enjoyed Shield Hero. It was one of the new animes that had just come out that year,
and it felt different from the other isekais.
Apparently.
And storylines.
There's so many people that always tell me about Shield Hero,
so that's why we like Redo Healer as well. It's different.
Oof. I don't know about that one, Chief.
Me neither. But I do like it gets better.
The other piece of news, especially for you, since you only watch One Piece for the moments, you have to watch this last episode.
Yeah, I haven't watched
episode 982, I believe. It was done really, really well. It's basically movie quality animation blown out of the water. Like, it's ridiculously good. Really, really good. We finally get the introduction of the Topi Robo. You get to see how they are like really, really cool. They made them look really cool. And then all the voice actors for each of them, you finally get to hear what they sound like besides Drake.
Well, Drake already had a voice actor. He's been around.
Yeah, that's what I mean in terms of like what he sounds like, because we've heard him before. So besides him, and I don't know if Page One talked when he was fighting. He did talk while he was fighting Sanji, but that was in his dinosaur form. So I'm pretty sure they add effects because he sounds completely different.
Oh yeah.
So they'll add effects when they transform into their zone transformations. The one that was blown away was by Ulti. Obviously, is so great. It was really, really good.
Really adorable.
Oh, super adorable.
Her character,
but at the same time, when she switches up into her like mean, she sounds like a straight up just Yakuza. Just it's so good. It's really, really.
She's
good.
A great character for a villain.
Very, very good character. And then the last bit of news for me that I was really, really happy about is that in this release of Shonen Weekly, Blue Box was the main cover of the magazine.
And Blue Box is about?
The Blue Box is I would go ahead and call it a romance, but it's sports/romance, mainly more on the romance. It's beautiful, and it's gaining popularity for it to be the cover of the weekly this week. So I was really happy about that.
It has happened, but it is rare for Shonen to focus more a Shonen genre. Manga or story series, whatever, to focus mainly on romance. Nisekoi, if you were a fan of Nisekoi, it ran on Shonen Jump.
It's rare, but it happens. And it's good for good for the fans when it does happen, especially when you're into romance.
Especially if you're a Shonen fan and you think that romance in Shonen series is romance. No, it's not. Naruto Hinata romance trash. One movie doesn't make a right. Oh, speaking of the Topi Robo and all those, I also got a little information. I was curious. We talked about this like in episode 1 or episode 2, I forget, on Otoma's power. So I got a bit more clarification on that after looking at it. Her fruit, devil fruit power, only works on animals. Only wild animals. So that's why it works on smile fruit users. Because they're incomplete fruits, so they're animal based. So that's why Otoma can control them. It doesn't work on zone users.
Yeah, because they're complete versus their incomplete form.
Yeah, it's part of them where the small fruit users are artificial. So they're transformed to it.
I see.
So that's how Otoma's power only works.
You're right. Why didn't I think of that? Because she did control the
animals before.
Yeah, the animals before. Yeah, that was my mistake. If y'all saw our first podcast where I mentioned that.
Still pretty cool.
It's really, really cool. So it does help. And it helps with Oda's story. He is not a complete asshole. So.
And with that, we can slide back in to the stories.
Yeah, for the stories this week, we'll start with Red Hood.
Yes.
Red Hood was really good.
Another good chapter.
10 chapter, really, really good.
Where we last left off was
Yep. He was pointing the gun to the back of the werewolf's head. At this point, the werewolf is kind of freaking out. How did he find me? And how do I get away from this situation?
But then he thinks about it. Well, it's just a kid and he has a gun. Guns can't hurt me. So then he gets grimy and he says, you think that just because you found me, that you're going to be able to take me down? And he transforms.
Once he transforms, boom, in through the wall
comes his brother
and Grim. And Grim always looks badass.
Always
doing her
shown like a
thing.
badass.
Really, really cool. I was like, yeah, let's go. Really, really dope. Once that happens, the brother realizes,
The older one.
the older brother realizes that the little one messed up. He's like, you done messed up, man. I gotta kill you now.
And then this is where Velo, our boy, kind of feels bad for him because
Yeah.
the younger werewolf starts getting beaten up or held down
Yeah.
by the older werewolf. And Velo actually tried to shoot him, and Grim stops him. He's we're gonna kill them anyway, so why would you help one if he's gonna kill the other?
Yep. That's true.
But then again, this shows you that Velo is a sympathetic character. So I still like, and we'll bring this up later, that at the end of chapter 1, Grimm said that we're not heroes. Towards the end of chapter 1, she said we're not heroes. We just do the job that we're assigned to do.
Yeah.
And again, this shows that Velo, if he joins, he's going to have to change that mindset.
That's crazy that they're bringing that up. It's chapter 3.
Yeah, instead of while he's on the job or while he's learning.
Just right at the beginning, they're giving him the just lowdown of what's about to happen if he joins the Hunters Guild. And that is really, really interesting and different because, as you said, they usually find that out on the job.
Or eventually in the story, like later on, but he's finding out like now.
Yeah.
Like before we even start your journey, you gotta remember that you're not a hero. You're not doing this for the heroic stuff, for the adventuring. No, this is a life and death situation, and we just do what we get paid to do. And then the werewolf, the older werewolf, as he's crushing the younger one, he explains how their transformation works, how they're able to transform from human to werewolf.
Yep.
And how they are strong because their body, they can re-heal, and when you re-heal an injury, your body gets stronger. So theirs is just an exaggerated level, and the more they damage their body, the stronger that they get, and they could also physically harm themselves in order to beef themselves up, like this guy. And he starts morphing his body into like Hulk size.
Yeah.
And then he says the only real way to kill a werewolf, and then he stabs the younger werewolf, takes out the heart. You can survive without the heart, but they die until you crush it. And then he crushes the heart. And that really, really pisses off Velo.
I love the way that they drew Velo. He was mad.
He looked shocked and he got mad.
It was really, really great to see that reaction. I was like, wow, like he is pissed. He's about to go in there.
I thought that was more par for the core because that's the type of archetype he's being shown to be. I prefer Grim, who looks completely calm and tells them, don't get mad. We're going to kill them. Doesn't matter how they die.
Yeah.
As long as they die. He saw his enemy get killed. Really hideous. Oh, also because that was family.
Yeah, that he imagined it as family. That was his main thing, Mr. Don Toretto over here.
Yep.
So yeah, it was funny because that meme has been blown up, and I was like, "Yep, that's Velo right there. He is Don Toretto, bro. With his gun too. He got a gun." But that was the main reason he got really upset, is because the werewolves told him that they're brothers, and he's like, you don't do that to family. You don't do that to family.
That's why I stopped. This meme is gonna keep going in my head. But basically he's Don Toretto.
At the end of the chapter, towards the end of the chapter, she told him, you're taking lead. If I need to be a decoy, I'll be a decoy. But she wants Velo to take the lead because that's when, at the end of the chapter, it says, this is the day that you become a true hunter.
That's how it finished. It was great because, again, it's showing that Velo is not going to stay the way he is. He's not going to have that hero's aspiration. Yeah. He's not going to be allowed to.
It's going to be very, very interesting to keep seeing his character growth as the story continues.
In just 3 chapters.
This is just chapter 3.
A lot of character development in 3 chapters, so I'm kind of worried on
how much he's just about to say.
It's happening too fast.
Yeah, it's happening a little bit too fast, but he's still a kid, so we'll see how it keeps progressing. As a kid, I feel like even though he's gonna go through this trial, he'll still think kind of like, what his age is.
There's 2 things that can happen. He stays the way he is and still does the job that he needs to do, or he'll change
Moving on to the next story, Dr. Stone for this week. Really interesting. They got past the otters, the otters from last
the Suez
week.
Canal, and through the otters' courses.
They
sailed
their ship past the corpses of the otters that they blew up.
And then head to the path of India.
Math City, India. We get this, once they arrive to India, immediately they make curry. Oh, it was so great. They're like, what is this?
Always respect the culture via food.
What I like about Dr. Stone, wherever you go, respect the culture. Respect the culture.
Or if you want to show love to the culture, always do it through food.
It was funny because you see Chrome in the background going, and his like mouth is on fire because they made like spicy curry. Oh, it was so funny to see that. I was laughing a lot. It was really, really cool. Then we get a little nice touching moment about Kohaku remembering her sister. That, yes, I forgot that they were frozen because
they still are. Only Zenos and Senku and the group, only those handfuls that we've been keeping a story on are the only ones that are not statued. And the others are turned to statues still, which I totally forgot too.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I was like, why is she talking about her
because
sister
they split
like
up
that?
into three teams. They split up into 3 teams. Mm-hmm. And I forget like which characters are in those 3 teams.
Yeah. So she's still in the village and they're frozen. Ryusei is mentioning about a genius mathematician that they have to find.
Yeah. And because they're in the land of math and they need a mathematician because the way the world works it's through mathematics. How do you solve the world's problems? How do you figure out stuff? Through math. And
the main reason Senku explains is that we need math to be able to calculate how we're going to get to the space, because I can do quick math in my head and it's really complicated quick math, but if I mess up, we're all dead once we take off into space.
He's like, I'm a scientist, not a mathematician, guys.
I'm smart, but we still need a mathematician that knows everything about math. So they go look for this genius mathematician in India, because in India there's a school for mathematicians. I forget the name of the school. At that school they have the most brilliant minds and they're looking for a specific person.
So the person that Ryusui was talking about is a person named Sai. And they do actually locate this person. Ryusui is like, I know my intuition. I know where this person's at. If you care or you know a person and you get petrified, then you automatically know. You should know where this person is, and I trust my intuition. I know where he is. They go, and yes, he is there. Wherever Ryusui thought he was gonna find him. And why does he know? And we find out after he gets unpetrified.
Got unpetrified, and Sai immediately sees Ryusui's face, and he's like, no! And he starts running the other way.
And Kohaku, he like dashes real quick. And in less than a second, Kohaku's like, oh, am I supposed to go after him? Boom. She's just like right next to him. He's like, what?
How is she so fast? And immediately pins him to the ground.
Sai is panicking. He's like, no, get him away from me. Get him away from me. He's like, why? What's wrong? That guy, Ryusui, is my brother.
Yeah.
So that's why he's scared of him. If you know Ryusui and his character, it would suck to have a brother like that. He's a cool person, but not fun to grow up with, probably.
Yeah, most likely.
A narcissist like that? Ooh. No, thank you.
So, and that's where the chapter leaves off, with that big surprise there. And
that big revelation.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Revelation. And then we'll see what they do in next chapter. We'll see how they put Sai to work. Basically,
have to work. Exactly. That's probably why he's scared. He knows when Ryusui wants something, he's gonna make you do it.
Last but not least, we have the return of freaking My Hero
Academia. Hold on, before that, remember 2 weeks ago how we kind of made our guesses on how this was gonna turn out?
Yeah.
Told you. I knew how this was gonna turn out based on what we were giving.
Yeah.
But like I told you, I wanted it to be a handful, not the whole class, but I had a feeling it was going to be the whole class. And it turns out the person that came for the save, not Bakugo, he said, hey guys, I was hoping it was a good handful amount of classmates, the stronger ones, useful quirks would use together. No, it turns out to be the whole classroom, the entire classroom. Exactly what I said I didn't want.
Yeah.
But we're here now, and then we instantly get a flashback on how this moment came to be.
probably the next day after Deku leaves the school, and everybody has those notes, and you see just Bakugo rip it up. He's like, nope. Knowing this dumbass, like, I know what he's trying to do. And Bakugo does. They've built their relationship up so much that Bakugo is now understands. Well,
no, it's not now. He's always the way known. He said it, he exactly knows who Deku is and what type of person Deku is because they spent their entire childhood together. Yeah. As crude as Bakugo is, it still shows you that he pays attention. Yep. He still shows his way of caring, how crude as it may be. But he knows. He lays it down for the whole class on how things are. And the fact that Shoto and Tokoyama is his name, the bird guy. Takoyami. They explain how they aren't able to reach their mentors.
The whole class is trying to figure out what they should do about this. And Uraraka actually came up with the idea for forcing the issue to find out what's happening. And their main way to get to it was through Endeavor. Endeavor ends up showing up to the school. I don't know what the length of time had passed, but Endeavor comes to the school to meet the principal and is immediately bombarded by the whole class.
The whole 1A class.
And you see a good image of them, right? Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but if you looked at Bakugo, he's actually wearing his tie, which was really crazy to see how serious he wanted to, I guess, maybe be presentable and one with the entire class. He actually had his tie like tightened up, everything, not how he used to be. Yeah, and I was like, whoa,
he's been through a lot. He's learned his lesson. He's studied. Well, you're gonna see in this season. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good season. They forced the issue. Endeavor immediately. I think, did he throw the phone?
No, he had a phone away, and then one of them asked, "Is that a GPS tracker?" And boom, a bunch of them went in to take it.
Yep.
He didn't even put up a fight, but I found it funny because he's just still standing right there. If he threw it, his hand would have changed position.
That's true.
But no, and then you have the little onomatopoeia of the sign that says,
"Okay." Yeah, so they charged for the GPS.
They reached for it, they took it. Honestly, if Endeavor didn't want them to have it, they would have taken it.
Yeah. I think at that moment he realized he's like, we're not the ones that
it's what I told you last time. It's funny that what I said last time, Bakugo said exactly the same thing almost. Basically said, you adults cannot reach Deku.
Yeah.
Y'all failed. All Might failed. It's up to us.
Yeah.
Only we know how this twerp is.
So we go back to where
the fight scene with Dictator.
And Dictator has been captured. Deku is coming up off the ground, no mask, and he's kind of stumbling and he sees everybody. He's just immediately says, "What are you guys doing here?"
And Uraraka answers that we're worried about you.
And he says, "I'm fine. I'm fine."
And puts on his mask. Then he says it. Then he says it that deep. I don't need y'all here.
I really hope
leave me alone.
And then Bakugo taunts him in great Bakugo fashion. Taunts him really, really well. He's like, well, look at the successor at All Might. Where are the smiles?
He's like, are you trying to taunt us or talk to us like that, you All Might wannabe?
He calls him an All Might wannabe. And immediately Deku's like, get out of my way.
So the chapter ends pretty early here, but just from what we get from this scene alone, it looks like he's ready to fight them.
Yep, it looked like he's about
Which is funny because when Bakugo tells him, like, where's your smile at? And then that reminds Deku, oh yeah, I'm doing this for everyone's smile, so everybody can smile again. And then he gets up and says, so get out of my way.
Which is a great contrast between where his mind is at, because he really does want to save people, but I guess in his mind he's just solely focused on that, to where
he's focused on one goal, that he's not paying attention to anything, not even his own health. Again, coming back to the early talks between the classmates, it's so much dialogue to go on. Basically, when everybody's talking, Bakugo is talking to everybody about the situation, and some of the classmates are like, well, he's with the adults, he's with the heroes, he should be fine. And then Bakugo brings up the point, no, he's with All Might, and I know Deku, and I know Deku and All Might the best, and they're very similar. We cannot have those two be alone together. They care too much about others. They worry too much about others that they don't care for themselves. That won't work. Yeah. Trust me, guys. I know Deku and All Might the best, and we just can't have that right now. Yeah. What he needs is us to straighten him out. So they had the discussion, and it brought up a point that if you really think about it, we learn about all the classmates of Deku's, the whole 1A class, little by little throughout each arc. We learn something about them that makes them unique, or what makes them want to become a hero. We know why Deku wants to be a hero.
Yeah.
We know how Deku is in terms of his goals. But personality-wise, in his heart of hearts, we really don't know Deku. And if you remember, Deku doesn't really open up to everybody. He likes to learn about everybody, but he doesn't really have a heart-to-heart with everybody.
Yeah.
He helps people with their problems, but he doesn't express his own emotions or his own feelings. And everybody brings up that point, and the only one who understands that the most is Bakugo. And everybody's like, yeah, he gave us this letter. It's sweet that he tried to give a personal letter to each one of them, but they don't really know Deku that well to have had a heartfelt letter. Some of them were weirded out by it, but that's how Deku is. He tries to be nice with everybody, try to get along with everybody, try to learn anything about everybody, but in the end, he doesn't really express himself.
We're definitely going to see how this is going to progress next chapter.
This is going to be so hilarious because we've seen a bunch of growth between Bakugo and Shoto and Deku. Main focus on them. So I'm really, really curious to see if Deku and what everything he's gone through so far, if he's really surpassed his classmates. Because he told All Might, I'm stronger than you. If he's bold enough to say that he's stronger than All Might,
let's see how he handles the rest of the class.
whole class.
Like,
I'm pretty sure Bakugo and Shoto are going to give him a run for his money, but everybody has great unique quirks and they've worked as teams together. But we'll see. Is this where Stain helps Deku to get away?
That'd be wild. Crazy. That would be really crazy. I would lose my mind if that.
That's what I was thinking when I saw that. If he's gonna fight the class, I'm pretty sure the class is gonna get the upper hand because right now Deku is a little bit blind, too focused on his goals.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure the class is gonna get an upper hand, especially if you have Bakugo, a great strategist, against you.
And then Shoto with his OP abilities.
Yeah, and the only way I can see Deku getting out of this, if he wants to stay solo, is if Stain saves him. Because Stain can wreck everybody.
But by himself, dude. He's really, really good.
He's
hand-to-hand combat.
He's not strong. He's just very skilled.
Very, very skilled. I'll be laughing. I know it's not going to happen. But Deku's going through all the classmates. Power! Again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
he pulls a Togata. I was like, let go.
Yeah, seriously. That might be dangerous.
But it's definitely going to be a predicament for next chapter. So
next chapter, maybe Deku versus Class 1A.
But that's about it for this week's chapters that we were able to cover.
And news.
Yeah. So thanks for listening in, guys. We'll have another episode out for you next week with some new chapters. We'll see you guys next time.
Adios.
Yeah. So like I was mentioning.
Yeah.
Anime.
Yeah.
Funimation.
Yep.
They just got a new update.
Yep.
Really
it does
awesome.
look nice, right?
It's a nicer update, which is the format is way better. How you search and everything is way better.
It's a lot better. Are you using it on your phone or are you using it on like the PlayStation or something?
Mostly on my phone because mostly the update is beautiful. The search is more beautiful. Everything is way better.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my Dubs fans.
Cut. Look, producer son, we can't work like this.